knew that there was something about me that wasn't like everyone else. And I didn't realize, and I think most of us don't even realize what it is until we're adolescents and our bodies start changing and you think, oh my God, that's what it is. And in my time, the 70s, people were not out. You know, no one was out. I go back and look at my high school yearbook. I'm like, the gym teacher, the history teacher, the drama teacher, but no one ever talked about it. People had friends, and a lot of people, unfortunately, stayed in the closet and had families and ended up, getting divorced because they realized, that they're gay, because people never wanted to believe it or admit it because we were sort of persona non grata. And I also, to make it even worse, I was this gay kid. I was 6 feet tall at 13, don't ask. And I was in the marching band. So, do we have the marching band? Marching band! What do you play? Me too, I play clarinet! Oh my God. It's such a lesbian instrument, isn't it? Every clarinetist is lesbian in your instrument. And any females on like large brass instruments like trombone. Yeah. So, okay, but and I had this girlfriend in high school, but I couldn't tell anyone. We couldn't, it's all secret. And, it was like this secret that I was carrying, that I was another person. I presented myself to the world as another person. Because we didn't have prideworks. And I got to college, and my best friend, Howard, whose son is here today, I am so proud of him, he dared me to do stand-up comedy. We lived, I went to Rutgers, and we lived on a co-ed floor, so every other room was, we went girl, boy, and then of course my mother walked down the hall the first day with everyone's names on their door and said who was Jewish and who wasn't, so that was fantastic. And I started doing stand-up, which was freeing, because there's nothing better than having people's attention, having a microphone. And I feel like that humor is the most palatable way to get a point across. And, when you see someone who's funny, or you hear someone's funny, you automatically like that, but you're like, oh, I want to be around that person because they're funny. But, when I am funny and everyone likes me, that's when it's so important for me to say, you know what, I know you all love me, and I'm gay. So I'm what happened in my 20s was a horrible thing, the AIDS crisis. I don't know if these guys, do you guys talk about the AIDS crisis a lot? It's such an important thing, because we hear about Stonewall. You all know about Stonewall, which was in the 60s, where the police had come into the gay bar and they were arresting people, and we finally said, so get the hell out of our space. And then the AIDS crisis happened, and it was, I can't tell you, I don't know, is anyone here who lived through the AIDS crisis? It was such an incredible time for so many reasons. Our brothers, our best friends were dying, and we didn't know why. And these men, it was mostly men, and they would walk down the street and they couldn't be in the closet anymore. There was no way for them to be in the closet, because I lived in New York City, and you would see these guys walking down the street with their faces sunken in and just sores, and you realize, oh, that's a gay man with AIDS. And I have a house in Provincetown. Has anyone been to Provincetown? Stores were closing, restaurants were closing, and it was such an awful thing, because so many people were so afraid that they would catch AIDS from hugging someone. And what happened, it was a blessing, not really, but in disguise, what happened to our community was that the lesbians came to the rescue of the gay men, because it was always you're gay or you're lesbian. But we're not. We're our community, okay? We are all different. We're all different genders. We're fluid. And what happened was, you know, these lesbians came and said, we are going to help you. And the community became one. And that was the beginning of our rage. I mean, we had rage before, but we were not, you know, out and loud about it. And that was also the beginning of equality for all of us, because here we are dying, and we decided, you know what? We're stronger than this horrible disease, and we're stronger than all of the crap that we take, and all of the prejudice and the you know, belittlement. We are stronger and better than this. And we came together as a community. And I remember working the first AIDS walks, and I was just out of college, and these people, straight, gay, they lost a brother, they lost a husband, they lost an aunt, and we just all worked together. And that's why this is so important. When communities work together, you're so powerful. You're one. You are all one. And that's what you have to realize. You're all different and you're all unique, but you're all one. And that is what's going to help you guys change this fucking world that we live in. When I started doing stand-up, I never really came out. Everyone knew I was gay, but I never really talked about it. I talked about, you know, as you get older, is anyone interested in doing stand-up here? Okay, so when you start doing stand-up, you talk about your life. And as you experience your life, you talk about more and more things. So your act changes. And when I had my partner Sharon, I met her, well, I'm not supposed to say her name, I'm supposed to say Wendy, because she's a big executive. She doesn't want me to tell everyone who her name, you know, because I always say crappy things about her. But so I'm supposed to call her Wendy, but I really name Sharon, so we'll just call her Schwendy. Anyway, so Schwendy and I met at work, and we started a relationship. It was very secret. We couldn't tell anyone in the office. And I remember every Monday, we'd spend the whole weekend together, and every Monday we'd get to the office, and everyone would be like, oh, Judy, what'd you do this weekend? And I'd be like, oh my God, I went here, I went to this club, and then we went out drinking, and then I did this, and then we had margaritas, and then we had brunch, and then I'm drinking a lot apparently at this point in my life. And we did this, and then they'd be like, oh Sharon, what'd you do this weekend? And she'd be like, nothing, I just stayed home and read, and you know, and we were together the entire fucking weekend. So she looked like a loser, and I looked like a really fun person. And we were together for, God, I don't even know how many years. And we, you know, Sharon, we had wanted a family. I mean, I kind of wanted a family. I wasn't really sure I wanted a family because I'm, you know, I'm on the road and I'm doing stand-up. And Sharon said to me, you know, I'm gonna have this kid with or without you. And I thought, what would my life be like if I didn't? I love my family. I love being in a family. If I just said no and I had just went on with my career, you know, is my career going to visit me at the Hebrew Home for the Aged? I don't think so. Is my career going to pluck my chin hairs out? I don't think so, okay? So we decided to have a child. We used artificial insemination. And an anonymous sperm donor was actually David Diamond. Right? I'm kidding, it's not David. David Diamond! So, and we had our first son, Henry. And it was interesting because, you know, every comic talks about their families and their act, and I was like, I have to talk about my family because there's so much material. I remember one time, Sharon had Henry, right? And she had a C-section. I had the vaginal delivery because I'm the guy. And, it's a really funny joke. Anyway, so we each had a child, and we each did a second parent adoption. So Sharon had Henry, I'm not kidding, and we were, Henry's about 6 days old, and we went to the Jew store down the street to get some yarmulkes, and for the bris. And I will never forget it, we walked in, I had Henry in that baby Bjorn thing. Do you know the thing where you wear the kid, and then you trip and fall, and the baby goes? All right, so I'll make that up. You don't know how many times I took a poop with that thing on, I'm not kidding. Because it takes like 20 minutes to get the kid out of there, and you know, when it's in the chute, I don't really have time. So anyway, David's like, oh, she's not coming back next year. Anyway, but, So Henry was 6 days old, and I had him in the baby Bjorn, and Sharon had recovering from the C-section, and she was standing by the door. And I was getting these young because I was online, and this woman says to me, "Oh my God, that baby is so cute. Florence, look, come here. Oh, so cute. How old?" I said, 6 days. 6 days? And you look fabulous. And I said, "Oh, thank you. Thank you very much." And then we went outside, and Sharon yelled, "Fuck you, you fucking bitch!" So, and I was like, all right, I have to tell. I mean, that is, like, how can I not talk about my kids? And if I don't talk about my kids in my act, what does that tell them? You know, we're secret, we're not a real family. No, I wanted to give the message that we are equal. There are so many times where we have been asked, who's the real mother, when the kids were little, and we would always be like, oh my God, we forgot, you know? And this is what I always get, how tall is the father?
Oh.
Yeah, how tall is the kid's father? People constantly, because I'm so tall, and you know, Ben's really tall, my little one. And I had one too, we each had one. And Ben is huge. He has a 14 men's shoe, and he's 13 years old. So, yeah, and he plays basketball. He's great, and Henry's in college. But people are always, oh, how tall's the father? What does your husband do? You have to realize, as a gay person, you are always coming out. You will always come out. People will always assume that you're straight. Hopefully, in 10 years, that'll change. But every day, in these sundry situations, in these situations that are so innocent, people will assume that you're straight, unless you're wearing that gay fucking wig over there. Now, if you're wearing a big rainbow hat, of course, people are like, ugh. But then there'll be some people who are like, oh, I love that rainbow hat. We have to get one for our church group, okay? So, but we are different, and we are special, and you know, we're different, but we're the same, because we just love a person, and we don't deal with the gender. We don't care what the gender is. I mean, I prefer the women, but, and I know a lot of guys prefer guys, but seriously, it is about a human being loving another human being. So, it's true. That you can't do that. In 1994, I was at this first AIDS ride, and I remember we went to Washington, D.C., and Judith Light. Do you know Judith Light? She's an actress. Okay. She has been a straight ally, like you cannot believe, since the very beginning. And she, at the end of this AIDS ride, she said, you know, no, this is about love, and no one can tell you who to love. And that straight woman, Jewish mother, saying no one has the right to tell you who to love, hit me in here like you cannot believe. And it made me realize, you know what? Why are we hiding? What the hell's the problem? We're the greatest people in the entire fucking world. So just remember, you have to remember, people are always going to assume you're straight. They're going to say, oh, and your husband, and you do. And it's your responsibility. I don't care if it's the dry cleaner. I don't care if, you know, it's some guy in a parking garage. It is so important that you say to that person, actually, I'm gay. Because then they know that they have met a gay person who's not afraid, who is proud of who he or she is, and it's every single person. Harvey Milk, you know Harvey Milk? He said, come out. And when I say come out, I'm saying, and I know a lot of you guys are really young, and it's really hard, and you have unsupportive people in your family, but you know what? You didn't ask to be born, and no one asked them for their fucking opinion, okay? Be proud. And if you feel uncomfortable, it'll come with time. But it's important, as you become adults, to the first thing, I'm gay. And I swear to God, I don't care who the hell it is. It is important that you say it, that people know that there are gay people right next to them, that people know that their neighbors are gay, their male people are gay, and that is what is going to change the world. Dick Cheney, who I couldn't hate more than anyone else in the entire world, has a gay daughter. And